day, I told my mom that I was going to be joining a club after school. But in reality, I was gonna hang out with this guy that I liked after school. We're gonna call him Hunter. So at this time, there was a trend going around school where you yank people's hair for fun and you pull down people's shorts for fun. But long story short, I'm walking with Hunter and this group of girls walk up to me. This is the best part. Oh my god, LOL. These girls walk up to me and then they yank my shorts down. I was on my period when they decided to do this, so my whole ass pad flew out like if it was a piece of lasagna. And so then Hunter looks at the pad. He's like, why is it red? Oh, I don't know, Hunter. Maybe I'm a ketchup bottle. You should squeeze me. Now when I want to hang out or make friends and talk to people that haven't seen my whole ass pad, I go on the app Wink. We love Wink. No one has seen my pad on Wink.
Here's a story time on my savage mom. So I was really bored because my sister was at Great Wolf Lodge for a birthday party with her friend, and so my mom and I decided to go to the mall. So we arrived, we walked in, and we decided to go get some Auntie Anne's pretzels. The worker was like, oh, is that your daughter? And my mom was like, yeah, why? And I was like completely confused because I was like, maybe 8. And he was like, oh, well, it doesn't look like it. I think I might have to call the cops. My mom, like, flipped out. Like, I don't know. And she was, like, all going off of him and, like, being rude. And he was like, I don't like your personality. And my mom, like, completely roasted him. And she was like this. Yeah, well, I have multiple personalities and none of them like you. And the man got arrested for adoption abuse.
One time in grade 2 it was home time and I was waiting for my mother to pick me up. When she didn't show up, a teacher took me to the office and said I had to wait there until my mom came. I was waiting there for 2 hours until my mom showed up, saying she was asleep and had a dream that I got picked up. Somehow she ended up doing it again the following day, but it was 6 o'clock and they told me I had to leave. The teacher tried asking me for directions to my house. I had no fucking clue and I was embarrassed, so I just pointed to a random house and said that it was mine. She asked if I wanted her to come. Obviously I said no because that's breaking and entering anyway. When she left I started walking around randomly until I saw one of my friend's house whose birthday I went to. Her mom freaked out because it was like 7 at night and I was lost. Then she started driving me around trying to find my house. She tried to find my mom's phone number because it was given to her at the birthday party. She ended up finding it and called my mom. She didn't answer, so she said I could just stay the night. At 11 p.m. my mom called her back freaking out.
Story time of how I got the best revenge on my worst enemy. So basically there was this girl that literally copied my absolute every move. It all started because the boy that she was dating tried to hit me up. So I guess she was trying to be more like me, I guess. And it all started when I got a puppy. Literally 2 days later, she ended up getting a puppy. The same kind of puppy. Then about a week goes on and I dye my hair blonde. Well, I bleach it. And she dyes her hair blonde. Okay, then the next day, I posted on my story about this app that I was using. It's called Fitness Coach, and I was getting my dream body from it. Also, the link to that app will be in my bio. But then not even an hour later, she posted that she was using it. Then I just noticed every single little thing that I did, she would also start to copy. She even started literally copying my outfits head to toe. So once I noticed that, I decided I was gonna like try something out. And I bought a bald cap from the store. And then I posted on a private story with only her in it. Ha, guess what happened 2 days later? I'm running out of time like for part 2.
My sister has Depop and sells stuff. One time she had to deal with this bubblegum dumb motherfucking bitch. This bitch complained her shoes were used, when the description of the shoes clearly stated they were. Like, bitch, are you blind? Need glasses? So anyway, I look at that bitch's insta, oh my god. She was a whole pro-life turn-up 2020 0 IQ dumb bitch. That bitch's whole personality was orange turnip and being pro-life. I saw she had a brother and started ming him. I told that crusty flubby blubby roachy fish boy he was hot and I wanted to hook up. He agreed and I went to that Trump boy's house. His house was just Trump everywhere. I wanted to run away. But I hooked up with him and made sure he went hard and didn't use protection. He made me pregnant, so I get an abortion and mailed it to her.
Hey guys, today I'm going to tell you how I scammed my rich friend and Adopt Me and how it went completely wrong. So from what I thought, she would scam people every single day for the pets that she had. And I only thought that because I saw her do it a couple times. And when I tell you this girl was rich, I mean she was rich. So one day I was at her house and we were just playing Adopt Me. And when she went to go up to the bathroom, I took her iPad and I traded myself and I traded all her pets to my account. And by the way, I had traded all the pets to an alt account so that she wouldn't see them in my inventory. So soon enough, she came back from the bathroom and she had a meltdown. And she knew that it wasn't me because she knows that I wouldn't do something like that, and she saw my inventory. So then she goes running to her dad sobbing, telling him about it. And remind you, they are a really wealthy family. And then I was confused because he started screaming at her over these virtual pets. And then he said this.
So when I was little, my mom took me and my brother to the local pool. I was 12, he was 4. So while my mom and I sunbathed, he played in the kiddie pool. When all of a sudden he comes up to us and says, "Mommy, I gotta go pee-pee." And instead of taking him to the bathroom, my mom said, "Go pee-pee in the pool." Shame on you, Carolyn. We continued to lay out in the sun until all of a sudden we hear everyone scream, "Oh my God, some kid's peeing in the kiddie pool." Torian didn't understand, and he went over to the kiddie pool, pulled down his pants, and pee-peed like he was peeing in the toilet. But my mom is clever, and she pretended like she didn't know whose kid it was, and we never went back to that pool again.
I am going to be telling you a scary childhood story. When I was 2 years old, my mom passed away. My dad wasn't in the picture, so I went to go live with my grandparents. My grandparents lived in a super old home that was built in the 1800s. I was a very imaginative child. So when I told my grandparents that I used to see people in the house, they just didn't believe me. There was one lady in particular that I would always see. She would sit at the end of my bed and watch me fall asleep. I wasn't scared of her because I thought she was an actual person. Plus, I was super little, so nothing even crossed my mind. At this point, I was like 4 or 5 years old. I remember her talking to me constantly. She even sang me the song "Rockabye Baby" to get me to go to bed one night. Every single day when I would get home, I could see her in my window. At that point, I thought she was just waiting for me. She just wanted to be my friend, right? But as I got older, things started to get really weird between me and her. She wasn't this nice lady anymore. Stay tuned for part 2.
This is why I don't friend random people on Roblox. A few years ago when I got my Roblox account, I'd love to friend everyone. I would even join a random server, friend everyone, and leave. One day I joined a server and there was 2 people standing right next to each other. It was a girl and a boy. Their users were Amazing Man 21 and Amazing Woman 22. Of course, I didn't think much of it and I friended them. I left the server to go chat with them. I then saw a group chat with both of them and me in it. At first, they were really nice to me. But then things got out of control. They both kept asking me what my name was. At that age, I didn't really think that was private information. But then they asked for my address. I quickly unfriended both of them and blocked them. I got off Roblox for a few hours and then I got a notification. It was from an unknown number. It was a group chat with numbers I didn't know. Come back for part 2.
One day, we were in class. I was in band at the time, and the classroom phone rang. And the teacher went and he answered the phone. He got really serious. He got this really concerned, shocked look on his face, and he hung it up and he turned to us and he said, "Everybody sit down, be quiet. The bell's going to ring in a couple minutes. You're going to stay seated." And then he went over to the doors and he locked them. And we were just like, oh shit, what is happening? And at first some of us were like, well, is it a bomb threat? Because we used to get bomb threats all the time, but then we realized that doesn't make sense because when we get a bomb threat, they evacuate us. And then we're like, is there some type of killer in the school? Is there a weather alert? Is there a terrorist attack? And none of us knew anything. The teacher wouldn't answer any questions. He was told not to. And the bell rang. We all stayed seated and we sat there for a really, really long time. And then the next bell rang, which means a whole other class period had passed. And still he said, "Stay seated." And I can't tell you how long we were trapped in this room and nobody was telling us what was going on. We're all getting really scared and panicking.
So I walk in on my cousin and my boyfriend doing the dirty on her couch. They quickly get up from the couch and get dressed. Of course, by that time, I'm in hysterics. I'm crying and yelling. My boyfriend instantly got on his knees and begged me for forgiveness. I went up to my cousin and I punched her right in the face. She wasn't expecting that. And I said, well, this is the guy that you've been dating, isn't it? She said yes, and that she was just trying to find the best way to tell me. And so she just thought the best way to tell me was to get me to walk in on her and him doing the dirty. I punched her again. My boyfriend came to her rescue though. Instantly went into hero mode, which made me even angrier, so I punched him too. I stormed out of her house and went back to my house. Well, I told my parents everything. And my dad went over to my uncle's house, my cousin's dad, and he told him everything. She was about to turn 19, so he took away her phone and her car. And I get a phone call.
When I was little, I found my mom's credit card. And, being a 6-year-old, I saw my mom putting the credit card on her phone, and I knew how she did it. So, I decided that I was going to put it on my phone. So, I put it on my phone, and I was downloading Roblox, because I thought, hey, I can play with my friends here. That day, I spent $2,000 worth of freaking money on Robux. Let's just say a lot of my friends thought I was really cool and rich. When my mom found out, I hid from her for seriously like a day, and then once I got in there, she wasn't mad. She just said I was Captain Robux.
There was this white dumby bumby mumby cumby hot Cheeto girl at my school. She acted like she owned the place and was a big bully. She made sickening homophobic and racist jokes. After my dumbass bitch-ass small pumpa pea-brain realized how wrong it was, I approached her. I told her how offensive her words are, and that flaky dandruff scalp bitch said, "Shut up bitch, I'll become your stepmom and beat you." So, I fucked her dad, videotaped it, and sent it to her. I made sure to be extra loud. The next day she moved schools. Pretty sure I gave her trauma. Dumb bitch.
Here's the story time of the homeless man that has been living in my closet for over a year. Okay, so I usually hide snacks in my closet, so that's probably how the homeless man has been eating. So I hide snacks in there because my mom would never let me eat in my room. So when I was hungry, I would get some snacks from there and eat. So one day when I opened up the closet, there was nothing in there. I was confused because yesterday there was like a bunch of bags of snacks in there. So I went to ask my sister to see if she stole my snacks. And she said, "You have snacks in your room?" And I basically exposed myself, but she didn't tell. So I was really confused. So I investigated the closet. Then I saw like a little slip in the wall. Like it's a really small crack. It was right next to the closet. And then I saw a really creepy beard. Stay tuned for part 2.
Look what my stepsister did. She got into my account. She broke up with my girlfriend as me. My girlfriend won't pick up my calls or text me back. I don't know what to do. In 8th grade, I really liked this boy. And one day during lunch, my best friend came up to me and said the boy was going to ask me out to the school dance. So later that day he asked me, and obviously the baddie I am said yes, and we started dating after that. The next day at school we met in the girls' bathroom. My dumbass tiny fucking pea brain decided to fuck him. He stuck his biggest juicy dick in my mouth. That shit was so big I started choking. Suddenly this bitch started peeing and it went down my throat. That shit was nasty. It wasn't even clear. In my school teachers and students share the same bathroom, and my fucking old wrinkly history teacher came in. We both got expelled. We still fuck a lot though. And his dick is getting bigger every time, but since Molly always adapt.
One time when I was 5 or 6, a teacher found a pair of shitty underwear in the bathroom, and all the teachers had to line up their students to find out which kid needed to be sent home. My teacher literally went round the class putting her hand into our pants to make sure we had underwear on. I'm still pretty traumatized from feeling her crusty, dusty old woman hand in between my ass cheeks. Anyway, It got to the last kid in my class and my teacher put her hand in his ass, and when she pulled her arm out it was covered in shit. The kid was crying, so was the teacher. One student threw up and I caused a chain reaction and everyone was throwing.
So today in English class, our English teacher was going through the rules again, just because I guess like some people were forgetting them or like breaking the rules. So anyway, she was like, just to remind you guys, there's no food in class, no talking to your neighbor without permission, and if I catch you with your phones, then you're gonna have it taken away and your parents are gonna have to come get it. And when she said that part about the phones, this kid raised his hand, and he's like a really creepy kid. And he was like, well, what if I shoot you? Like, hold up, what? You just threatened to shoot a teacher? So I just like looked at him and I scooped my desk away and the whole class went silent. Like nobody said anything. We were all just staring at him. Like we were all just in shock. Like, did he just threaten to shoot a teacher? After like 10 seconds of it being like completely silent, he reached in his backpack after he said he was going to shoot.
Okay, so here's a scary story time on how I found someone staring at me in my sleep. So basically, I used to go on FaceTime with my friend like every single night and fall asleep on the phone. And basically, I told her it was like 2 in the morning. I was just gonna go to sleep for like 30 minutes and tell her to wake me up in 30 minutes. So I fell asleep, and she ended up not being able to wake me up, and she just hung up. But then I woke up about like 4 in the morning, and I saw a text on my phone from her, and I thought it was just a regular text. But that was not the case. Basically, it was a picture of me sleeping, and someone was in the corner of my room staring at me. And it wasn't like a shadow or anything, like you could clearly see it. And she just texted me, and she was like, what is this? I was terrified. It was a man in a black coat, and I can show the picture if you want me to, but it was literally terrifying. And I didn't sleep in my room for like months. I slept on the couch for months.
Once in elementary school, it was lunchtime. A bitch had to go potty. It was poo-poo time. So I remember I went to the restroom and I was exploding or whatever. And these girls walked in. We're gonna call them the Chipettes, okay? This is the best part. So the Chipettes start yelling in the bathroom. Is someone here? Can someone hear me? Like, I didn't say anything. I was literally taking a shit. Like, what? These girls, deadass, start laughing. They turn off the lights in the bathroom. They turn on all the sinks, whatever. And they start saying like Bloody Mary or some shit. And then the Chipettes run out of the bathroom and shut the door. So here I am getting casted on. I remember seeing a shadow. I fell on my ass and I start screaming and crying. It wasn't good. So someone called the janitor. Janitor walks in to check up on me.
When I was younger, I was in Walmart and I was eating a tube of Pringles and I ate them while my mom paid, but I forgot to let the guy scan them, so I walked out the Walmart and the alarm went off and I just started running because I got scared and my mom couldn't find me because I was hiding behind the newspaper things, and the Walmart people called the police because I was missing, and when I hear them show up I thought I was a criminal, so I left my mom a note on the newspaper that said I went to Mexico to start a new life and not come looking for me, and then I took off running with my Pringles and ran for like an hour, and then the cops saw me walking down the road, so they pulled over, so I started running again, and then they were using the car intercom thing and they told me to stop running. So when I did, I thought they were gonna put me in handcuffs and take me to jail, so I was crying and I slapped the officer in the stomach and tried to run again, but he just held me back, and when he asked me what happened to me and I told him, he started crying because he was laughing so hard. And he just gave my mom $2 for the Pringles and he was still laughing when he left. And that's the time I was a wanted criminal.
I haven't been to the toilet in 4 days and it was starting to worry me, so I went to the doctor's. I arrived and the doctor felt my stomach and said it was very hard. He wanted me to take a stool sample, which means you have to shit in the cup. I had coffee for breakfast, so I was pretty much ready to go. I grabbed the cup and went to the toilet and held it up to my ass and started pushing. I didn't realize how badly coffee affected me, and the next thing you know, a strong gust of diarrhea started blasting out of my ass and I felt like a rocket ready for takeoff. I grabbed onto the door for balance because I started levitating and the cup was already full, but I couldn't stop. I was holding onto the door for dear life and the shit was spitting out like a shotgun. I eventually stopped and looked at the glass cup of my shit and there were cracks all over the glass. I heard the desk lady shouting for everyone to get under the chair and to call the police. I got scared thinking what is going on outside, so I quickly cleaned myself up and rushed out of the bathroom to see everyone crying and hiding under the chairs because they thought there was an active shooter in the building. I said it was just my shit and everyone got up. Anyways, I have bowel cancer.
So when I was in the 2nd grade, I went to this private Christian K-12 school. It was really strict and didn't go against the Bible. I had a friend who came out to me and my friends and told us to not tell anybody because her parents worked at the school and were very strict. So if any teacher found out they would tell her mom and she would be dead. We told her that she could trust us and we kept it a secret she was lesbian. One day at recess we were all talking about our crushes. When I asked her who her crush was, she said she had a crush on me. I didn't know what to do, so I said cool. I was a little nervous because I wasn't sure if she wanted to be in a relationship with me or not. After she told me that, she became more flirty towards me. At our school we had a buddy system to go to the bathroom. Whenever she would have to use the bathroom, she always picked me as her buddy.
One day, I went to my friend's birthday party. We're gonna call her Jazzy. Well, I'm at the party, and then Jazzy's dad pulls me aside, and he's like, can we talk in private? I was like, yeah, of course, because I thought it was gonna be like a gift for Jazzy.
So long story short, he pulls me aside, and it gets so motherfucking weird. Like
homeboy starts holding my hand, and he's like, I always thought you were one of Jazzy's most beautiful friends. Age is just a number. I don't really like my wife. And I was like, that's disgusting. So I got to the point where I got really uncomfortable. I ran away and I went to go tell Jazzy's mom what her husband was telling me. So I go tell her, right?
This is the best part.
So I go to tell Jazzy's mom and she's like, thank you for telling me. I'm gonna take care of it. Here's this water, drink it. Like, you're probably so overwhelmed right now. So I remember I drank the water.
Story time on how my older brother was actually a vampire, part 1. So I literally love my brother so much. We would do everything together, especially when we were younger. But one day I figured out something my whole entire family was hiding from me. One Saturday morning, I asked my brother to come play ball with me like we always do, but this time he said no. He was 16 and I had just turned 13. I asked him why, and he just told me to get out of his room, so I did. I told my mom he wouldn't play ball with me, and she just told me to leave him alone, and that he wasn't feeling well. I said fine, and I went to go play ball by myself. But then that night, something I've never seen before happened. My whole family was at the dinner table, and I was eating my food, but I noticed that my brother didn't have a plate in front of him. I asked him if he was okay and if he was gonna eat. He just said he was having something else for dinner and left it at that. That same night, I went to bed and told my whole family goodnight. Around 10:30 at night, as I was laying in bed, I heard a bunch of loud screaming, like for part 2.
This is why you should never join a non-tagged game. So I joined my cousin and she was playing this game. Basically, a non-tagged game is if you can say anything without it being tagged out. So me and my cousin were messing around by saying these bad words because it wouldn't tag out. And we started chatting a little until a group of people came up to us saying really inappropriate things. But we just ignored them and moved out because it's a big map. But they were following us saying even more bad things. So we just left the game and joined the game called Vibe Room. Basically, it's just a really cool game where you can just sit down and chat with your friends. Then the same group joined us in that game, and we do not even know how because we did not friend them. Then they kept telling us to friend them. They literally spammed it. I'll do part 2.
Once my brother was playing Minecraft. An hour later he told me that he got a Minecraft girlfriend. I was surprised because I got a Minecraft boyfriend that day too. I was happy for him. My brother kept chatting with his girlfriend and I kept chatting with my boyfriend. We were chatting with them for days and days. Me and my boyfriend would make out in Minecraft. Smirking face. A few days later my mom told my brother to stop playing Minecraft because he was failing every class. Even English, literally the language he speaks. But I noticed that ever since my brother stopped playing, my boyfriend stopped playing too. I thought it was a coincidence, so I didn't think much of it. My boyfriend didn't play for over a month, so I decided to just cheat on him. But then he joined me and he saw me cheat. We got in a huge fight and I blocked him. But then I heard my brother crying in his room saying he broke up with his Minecraft girlfriend. I told him I broke up with my Minecraft boyfriend too. That was One day my great-grandma was dying because she had heart disease, brain tumors, toe fungus, leprosy, diabetes, bowel cancer, stretched earlobes, nipple piercing infection, black lungs, cornea infection, coronavirus, the black plague, the Spanish influenza, frostbite, nematodes, trypophobia, Ebola, saggy skin, morning breath, like cis, you name it. She was old and diseased as shit. The doctor said she had like 3 days left, so my mom started taking photos with my great-grandma on the bed and she was uploading them to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp, Tinder, Tumblr, Wattpad. Like this bitch was really posting my great-grandma everywhere like she was a superstar. Like, relax yourself, you have 4 followers including me and my brother, you don't need to post them on all these platforms. Anyway, Anyway, she asked me for a caption idea and I said doo-wop. And she then asked what is that? I said it means wishing and praying and she said that's so beautiful and she started crying like okay bitch it's not the end of the world sit the fuck down with your hubba dubba bubba gubba yubba tubba flubba wubba jubba pubba zubba head ass. She made her caption wop for granny show granny some wop she's in need for wop go granny wop granny wop. Like you stupid bitch no wonder you have 4 followers make it 3 because I just unfollowed anyways my great grandma died that evening.
This is why I never trust anybody off of Roblox. A few years ago on Roblox, when I started playing Roblox, I would join a bunch of games and friend everybody in the game. I would even join different servers to friend more people. But this one time, I joined a server and I was very interested in the game, so I didn't friend anybody in that one. But I got a friend request from a girl named Ladybug134. Her name sounded very cool at the time, in my opinion, and I accepted it. Then I left the game to start chatting with her. She started chatting with me about saying, can I make a group chat with you and my friend on Roblox? I said, sure, why not? Because I meant more friends. Then in the group chat, I was saying hi, hello, and stuff like that, and the weird little XDs, emojis, and stuff like that. I was getting kind of confused because nobody else was talking in the chat. You will not believe what they chatted. Like for part 2.
So y'all remember how PE teachers used to make you run the mile in elementary school? Well boy do I have a fucking story for you. So I was out on the field running my second lap and my stomach started hurting because my fucking mom decided to buy McDonald's for breakfast. So I asked the teacher if I could go to the bathroom and that bitch ass Trump gorilla looking motherfucker said no, so I just kept running and prayed to Michael Jackson that it would go away. So I'm on my third lap and I have to fart. And on God I pulled a Nessa Barrett. So much shit came out that I could literally make a 4-course meal with it. And a chocolate fountain for dessert. I was about to fucking cry. Obviously I wasn't gonna tell my teacher that I shit myself, so I just said I felt like I was gonna throw up. So I go to the clinic literally holding my hands on my ass so nobody would see my shit. When I get to the clinic the nurse tells me to sit down, but in my head I'm like bitch if I sit down your chair is gonna look like the chocolate river from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So I just lean on the wall until my mom comes to pick me up. When I stand up off the wall to go to the bathroom my shit is smeared on the wall and the nurse looks at it and she's like, what the fuck? Was that you? And I was like, ew, hell no, and I run to the bathroom and my whole ass had shit on it, and when my mom picked me up I started crying because she asked what smelled like dog shit and she thought she stepped in something and I had to tell her it was my ass.
One day I was playing Roblox. A few minutes later I met this guy in Adopt Me. We became friends. Then a little later we started dating. I gave him my number and we started texting. He wanted to FaceTime but I had to go to my grandma's house, so I told him I would FaceTime later. Either way I was a little nervous to FaceTime. Okay, anyway I got to my grandma's house and I decided to bring my laptop because I still wanted to play Adopt Me with my boyfriend. I noticed that my grandma was on her phone the whole time. She literally never goes on her phone. Like when I went to say hi to her she literally slapped me and told me to go away. Like bitch chill out, what did I do? Anyway I went to join Adopt Me and I saw that my boyfriend was online. I joined and gave him a free giraffe. A second later my grandma jumps 5 feet in the air and she screamed yippee yappy wappy hoo ha hey and she fell on her back. That was the moment I realized I was dating my own grandma. She got rushed to the hospital. A day later my mom told me she died. We went to her funeral. It was going normal until all of a sudden I hear the Adopt Me music coming from her funeral casket.
Storytime on how my password got leaked onto Roblox. This one day I was on Roblox. I was maybe around the age 7-8. I was in those really catchy games called like Escape McDonald's or Escape whoever, you know? I was in all those like games. I'd always join a server with 3 noobs. Not noobs as in bacon hair. Noobs as in yellow, green, blue skin. I didn't think much about it until this one day. I was in one of those catchy games. As I was in it, I made it to this one part of the stage where I saw 3 of the noobs like huddled together in a circle. I was kind of confused, like what's happening, so I was just walking around and like investigating or something. I saw them chatting things. I was like really, really nervous. You will not believe what they chatted. Like for part 2. And thank you so much for the support.
Hi guys, so here is part 1 of why you should not friend anyone on Roblox that you do not know. This is my story. So, I was playing Adopt Me and this girl, she friended me and I was not thinking, so I just friended her back. And she teleported to me and she asked if we could be IBFs because she didn't have any, and I was like, okay, just to be nice. But over time we started to become like really good friends. We had each other's social medias, like we had TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and all that. And one day she blocked me on every single social media that we had of each other.
and I was kind of confused and I didn't know what was happening. So I made a fake TikTok and messaged her. Come back for part 2.
There's a story time that happened in 2nd grade. So my teacher never allowed fidget spinners, and my friend always brought one to school because that was the only thing that helped us focus. But every time she saw it, she would take it, and she would never return it even though she said she was. So me and my friend, I'm going to call her Jalen, and my other friend, I'm going to name her Caitlin. So me, Jalen, and Caitlin all had this plan to sneak into school and take our fidget spinners. So at recess, we had this plan spot behind the tree, and we would all talk about it. This girl even didn't eat her lunch because her teacher took away her fidget spinner. Anyway, we all had this plan to sneak into school and break the windows, go in class and steal all our fidget spinners and give them back to the owners. But every time we talk about it, we'd get caught by this one kid named Nathan, and he would all go tell the teacher. But the teacher didn't care, obviously, because she knew we weren't going to do it. Like for part 2.
So I was sitting in the cafeteria when these two girls walk up to me. They kept complimenting me. And I was so confused because these were the most popular girls in the school, so after they kept saying how pretty I finally asked them what they wanted. And one of the girls named Gabby told me I'm invited to her birthday party that was later that day. I was so happy, so I kindly accepted. Later that day the girl who invited me sent me her address. So when it was time I got my mom to drop me off there. I walked up to the door and knocked a couple times and nobody answered, so I waited for almost an hour and realized no one lived there. I was so angry now, because it started raining outside and I had no way to get home, because my mom was on a dinner date, and I had told her to come get me at 8 p.m. and then it was 4 p.m. So I started to walk home, and the whole way I was